Okay, so thank you very much for giving me the floor. Welcome to Poland. You know, you've introduced me, Zdenek, Andrzej, as the transitional country. Definitely, again, yeah. We are also hosting the majority of world wars in Poland, exactly the two of them. So, first, the small disclaimer about me. So I'm a former judge. Here I'm representing the Institute for Law and Society, which is one of the oldest Polish legal think tanks. But also I'm working in the Ministry of Justice as a Ministry of Justice plenipotentiary for the open judiciary. And the open judiciary is also something that was already mentioned, and I really love this concept. And in any discussion about the legitimization of the judiciary, I think the concept of the citizen-centered court, also the concept of citizens' participation in the judiciary is something important. And I really wish I won't be with you tomorrow, because I would love to listen what's happening. One of my duties is to, let's say, to refurbish or to do some detailing on the institution of lay judges, because it's probably some missing link or some missing bridge between the society and the court. Out of all the European countries, only in 4 countries, there are only the professional panels. So almost everywhere, in every panel, we will have this, representatives of the society. We will have this common people, not to be, mistaken with the common sense, which is also now very, very buzzword, or just the buzzwords, like the common sense. And now, what I will be talking about, if you will allow me, with a bit of delay. So I thought I picked like 2 topics from the panel, but after the intervention of Hanna, I think I've picked 1.5. Why? I will tell you later. So first of all, I will speak about the politicians in courts. And reading this for the first time and preparing for the seminar, I read it, okay, so are we having the politicians in the courts, but as judges? So, and that was the question, that was how I read it. And my first answer was, we don't have. Do we have? No, I think we don't have. But after your intervention, I also tried to recall, I used to be the court president. So, and I've been a court president of the regional court in Katowice in the years 2013, 2017. So for the whole term, 4 years. And it was a time when we used to have these directors or managers. So you have the court president, so the judge, and you have, let's say, the lay person, or just someone who's not a judge, being the director of the court. So being the person responsible for the human resources, being also a person responsible for ordering paper, seals, and all those stuff. So I was quite happy to have such a person. I've never thought it can be the tool of any political influence, maybe because of the way that the leadership in the court was performed, or maybe because I was taught that comparing it to the filmmaking, I'm the director, and the director is the producer. So the director is producing this movie, that I'm a director, and I'm directing the movie about justice, about adjudicating cases, about providing justice, about just being the, I don't know, I prefer the word leader of the court, leader of the judges. So from my point of view, I will never see the directors as a kind of danger to the impartiality, independence of the court, but probably we can discuss it. So, speaking about the politicians as the judges, so I would like to say that in common courts in Poland, I think we don't have politicians as judges. Speaking about the common courts, so we have the courts, the district, regional courts, and courts of appeal. Because, well, how to become a judge in Polish legal system? Just to start from the very beginning, just to go to the national school for the judges and prosecutors, and just go through the whole path. So I don't think it's very important and very attractive for the politicians that probably would love to be promoted somewhere. And if they can be promoted somewhere, they will probably aim into the apex courts. So let's make the assumption that we don't have the politicians in the common courts in Poland. What about the apex courts? So what I'm doing, because I'm 50-something, so I'm trying also to discuss some issues with my focus group consisting of people that were born, let's say, in the free Poland, so after the year 1989. So I said, guys, I was really preparing for the seminar. So I asked them, so can you show me the examples of the politicians in Polish apex courts? Because we have like 3 examples of them. The former in a constitutional court. So 2 former members of parliament, very active, very pro the law and justice party. They were also advocating for some laws. They were also very active on media. They were also active against independent judges, because we used to have almost everything, maybe not in the Hungarian way, like with the Polish also just being the world record holder in the uprisings, in the, just being opposite, or even a trade workers union like Solidarity movement. So we are more like the rebel nation. Let's also make this assumption. So, so there are just 2 clearly examples of the members of parliament just being granted, just the position as the constitutional court judges. I just don't want to mention their names because it's not very relevant so far. So out of 15 members of the constitutional court in Poland, we used to have 2, and the president of the court was also the political nominee, but the former judge. So let's have like 3 politicians in the constitutional court. But then my focus group was asked again, so what do you mean by the politician? Who's the politician? So another assumption, sorry for making the assumption, but just so it happens, especially for lawyers and judges, maybe. So I did the assumption, like, I just need to pick one criterion for being politician. What does it mean to be politician? And I just thought it's the participation in this central politics. That's something what I called, so being either the member of parliament, so the member of the legislative, or the member of the government. And we can have like the 3-day seminar about Polish Constitutional Tribunal, about the Polish issues with the constitutionalism, about the capture of the Constitutional Tribunal. I will not take any responsibility to tell you how many judges we have of the constitutional tribunals, because they use, for instance, to appoint someone for the occupied position and so on and so forth. But again, let's make another assumption. We had 80 judges in the whole history of the Constitutional Court of Poland. The Court of Poland was established in 1985, so during the communist times. But then there was quite a new composition of the communist of the Constitutional Tribunal. So we used to have 80 Constitutional Court judges. And when I was just doing my research on the names of the judges from the Constitutional Tribunal in Poland, so I just realized that 12 of them used to be, for instance, the Undersecretary of State in the Ministry of Justice, definitely, or the Secretary of State in the Chancellery of the President of the Republic of Poland. Politicians? Probably. So that's another question. Who we call politician, who's the politician, and if you can find the politicians in the courts. Coming back to the normative framework, we have also in our constitution the Article 178, paragraph 3. So a judge shall not belong to a political party, a trade union, or perform public activities incompatible with the principles of independence of the courts and judges. Full stop. So the judges are definitely prohibited to be the members of the political party. Now we are having the Supreme Court. Again, the total number of the judges Supreme Court is around 100, but I cannot say that someone in the Supreme Court is the politician, because they also need to go through the all judicial training, or they should be just really renowned and just distinguished lawyers. So I was looking for the politicians in the Polish courts, and probably I found like 12 of them, like the dozen. And the total number of the judges in Polish courts is 10,000. And the number of Polish courts, the ordinary common courts, is 400. So these are the numbers. Of course, any judge that is a politician is something rotten in the state of Poland. But anyway, this number, I think they are speaking for themselves. So now going to, I have a few minutes left. Okay, for judges in politics. So if you can show me this and show us the slide. I had the 3 examples, but I will focus on one. So that's the commissioner, the European Commissioner for Agriculture. So that was like this achievement, the life achievement. But you have, yeah, that's something that I just wanted to show you. So the timeline of his bio. But he started as a judge at the High Court of Justice. Well, it was the Court of Appeal, but well, probably lost in translation. He was just a High Court of Justice. Anyway, yes. So he was also running his election campaign to the parliament as a judge. It's not prohibited; it's allowed by Polish law. So you can be independent candidate. But it was also times before the Constitution. We have the Constitution from 1997, so before it came into force. So you can see we have some former judges in the, let's say, even international or European politics. He's also, when he's tweeting, so greetings to Mr. Musk, so or he's Xing, yes, no, it's X, the portal. So his in the description is former judge. So he shows, and he shows some kind of, sentiment to being a judge still. Although he's like he used to be European Commissioner. His terms ended in 2024. And now, last but not least, some controversial issues, if you will allow me. I really love this intellectual, or I can even call it conceptual monopoly. Because now in Poland, as you probably know, we are restoring the rule of law, and we are asking ourselves thousands of questions. So do you need to obey the law when you are restoring the rule of law, and what can you do, and what are the next steps, and what will be happening in next months especially. And what we have, it's very similar to the way, okay, so we have judges, again, like the super judges or like the judges from the apex court, writing the commentary, writing the monographs. So they are influencing the jurisprudence, I think, at least at 2 ways, by the way that they are creating the theory, but also they are just adjudicating cases. And we have something, again, another Polish invention, because we are a very innovative nation. So we are having something that's called, the committee, the codification committee for the draft laws, or for the law on judiciary and prosecution. It consists out of 16 members. Just guess how many judges are in this body? 8. We have 8 judges in this body, 4 prosecutors, and 4 lawyers, like the people from academia, solicitors. So, this body was appointed by the Minister of Justice, so the executive. It consists of judges. They are paid also, so information for Zdenek. So they are being paid for being members of this committee, and they are drafting laws on judiciary, on prosecution's office, also on just restoring this constitutional order. Jarosław Gwizdak, so myself, I don't feel very comfortable with it. And yeah, I got the message about 1 minute, so I can stop here, being open for your questions. And also, if you want to discuss like the state of play in Polish judiciary, I think the dinner will be served, so I'm available. Thank you.